Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. Abs are made in the kitchen. It's something you hear every once in a while if you follow fitness content, but is it really true or not? We're going to answer that in this video, but first I want to tell you that I am bringing on coaching clients for the next year, 2024, but for anyone that signs up for any of my coaching programs now in December, we'll just start. I'll give you the remaining days in the December for free. So basically the sooner you start, the more days of free coaching you'll get. And I think this is perfect because, of course, the best time to start is always now, but we have Christmas coming up. It does make sense to put in another gear, start from a clean slate next year. So this way you can start preparing, start going to the gym if you aren't already, start working on tweaking your diet and nutrition and just thinking about what other lifestyle changes you'll do. This all depends on who you are and what we would be working on, of course, but so that you're prepared to go full speed ahead at the start of next year. So if you're interested, you can send me a DM on Instagram, email me, it's all in the description below. I'll tell you about my different options. But okay, let's talk about abs. Is it true that they're made in the kitchen? The answer is yes and no, because of course, no matter how well developed ab muscles you have, like how big your ab muscles are, they're never going to show if they're covered by too much fat, and that is of course greatly influenced by what you do in the kitchen, what you eat, right? But there are also individuals that are skinnier, also under-muscled, and they could have almost no fat on their belly, and the abs still wouldn't show. Okay, so I'm gonna put up the picture I used in the thumbnail here. It's me this summer when I'm lean, I think around 82 kilos, and this morning 90 kilos. I'm sorry about the lighting too, one lamp just broke today. But yeah, as you can see, of course, my abs are more defined when I'm leaner, but I would say I still have pretty good abs even when I have a bit of fluff on me, right? And that is because I've developed the ab muscles as well. So for the best ab aesthetics and to have permanent abs, we want to both develop the ab muscles and then craft a lifestyle in the kitchen as well that just makes it so it's easy for us to always stay within the lower to middle range of a healthy body fat percentage, all right? So let's go through the things I think is important for this. So first of all, we want to train and develop the abs like any other muscle. Emphasis on like any other muscle, because for some reason abs is often people just approach in a different way, doing these like 5-minute ab circuits or something. And of course, if you're completely untrained, that would yield some results in terms of developing the abs, but it's going to be very difficult to progress at a certain point. So we want to find alternatives when we can just approach it like any other muscle and progressively overload with weight. And I'm not going to talk too much about how we do that because I have a video on how to train the ab muscles and grow them like that already. So I'll link that at the end of this video if I remember. Otherwise you could just search abs on this channel. Okay. But yeah, then we want to restore a relationship to food so that it's just not all that difficult for us to, not overeat and that. Because some people, I think they feel like it's a big sacrifice. I can either eat the way I want or I had to kind of suffer and starve myself to keep these abs. But you can change your relationship to food, so it's just not really a big problem, okay? And I would recommend doing this with, I'm of course a big proponent of fasting, both intermittent and prolonged fasting, and especially prolonged fasting is the fastest shortcut to restoring your relationship to food. It will both make it easier to, hunger just won't be that big of an issue anymore. You won't feel hungry and get cravings as often, and if you do, it's just not going to be as big of a problem. It will also reverse your food addiction, like the addiction to the junk foods, remove the cravings for these foods that are very easy to overeat on, right? So this kind of change would happen eventually if you're just strict for long enough with the amount you eat and what foods you eat. It would happen eventually, but fasting is just the fastest way to get there, all right? And then what we want to do is avoid foods that makes us bloated and inflamed. So that would be like grains, legumes, processed vegetable oils, other high FODMAP foods, and just, you know, junk food really. They impair digestion and will make you bloated. And of course that doesn't neither feel good or look good when the belly is just sticking out like that. We literally just make the... When I'm bulking now, I'm a bit fluffier. If I would eat something, make me bloated, I just kind of look like I have a gut, because the ab muscle get a bit stretched out like that. And yeah, it's just good, but you're gonna feel a lot better not being bloated, and it's gonna look a lot better. That's often the case, you know. What looks good is good when it's achieved by natural means. And so yeah, another thing that would just make it easier to stay within this leaner body fat percentage range is to move more. Adjust your lifestyle so you walk more and just move more in general. And I like to focus on this rather than like you have to do a lot of cardio, you have to run a lot on the treadmill and da. Of course, if you like that kind of activity, absolutely, that's great, you know. But this is something that just makes it kind of effortless. You know, walking is something you can often do instead of. It's not on top of. If you can walk somewhere instead of taking the bus or car, sometimes you know, you're still moving there, right? And if you can, is it Rhonda Patrick that call it like exercise snacks? If you can take little movement breaks, you know, just a few minutes of air squats, some push-ups, like it doesn't have to be high intensity, but this is something that for a very little investment, it's not that tough, you just have to do it, but a very low investment, it will definitely increase your energy expenditure without you feeling like, oh, I have to do all this cardio to stay lean, you know. And so the last thing I would say is, don't approach this from a shallow perspective only, like I want abs because it looks cool, you know, I look hot with abs or whatever. Because of course, I get it, if you've never had abs, we're always going to have to be a little, it's unavoidable, and we're a little results oriented. We want it because we think it looks cool and that. But focus on becoming a healthy and disciplined individual that just has abs to show for that. It's just like a byproduct of that. And I, of course, always talk about this, that the more you can focus on becoming the person that has the result, doing the process that leads to the result over the result, funnily enough, that's what leads to the best results in the end. Because if you think of it, if you just don't think of it in a vacuum, I want abs because I would look better with abs. Think of the best version of you probably isn't overweight, probably doesn't have a bunch of big fat gut, you know. Probably they are fit and have muscle, right? Probably they are disciplined, stay on point with their habits, their nutrition in the kitchen, so that they always have these abs, right? So you see, it's bigger, really. So I get it. If you never had the abs, I understand it's a little dream for you. But the sooner you can start focus on becoming this person and the other good things that would be a part of making the abs happen, the easier it's going to be. So yeah, guys, that's all I have to say about abs. They are in part made in the kitchen, but we want to develop the abs like any other muscle as well. And then there are just these different, not tricks, I wouldn't say, but just, you know, lifestyle adjustments that you can do that will make it easier to stay leaner. So yeah, again, you could reach out for the coaching. It's all in the description below. Leave a comment and like. Tell me what you think, your experience with the abs. And please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscles, health improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. Abs look cool, but it's also the expression of being healthy, fit, disciplined individual. Peace.